ॐ विश्वं दर्पणदृश्यमाननगरी तुल्यन्निजान्तर्गतं पश्यन्नात्मनि मायया बहिरिवोद्भूतं यथा निद्रया यः साक्षात् कुरुते प्रबोधसमये स्वात्मानमेवाद्वयं तस्मै श्रीगुरुमूर्तये नमः इदं श्रीदक्षिणामूर्तये बीजस्यान्तरिवाङ्कुरो जगदिदं प्राङ्निर्विकल्पं पुनः मायाकल्पितदेशकालकलना वैचित्रचित्रीकृतं मायावीव विजृम्भयत्यपि महायोगी वयस्वेच्छया तस्मै श्रीगुरुमूर्तये नमः इदं श्रीदक्षिणामूर्तये तस्मै श्रीगुरुमूर्तये नमः इदं श्रीदक्षिणामूर्तये ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यङ्करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै ॐ शान्तिः 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 सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम् ॐ वर्स् 54 अत्यन्तबुद्धिमान् ध्यात्वा सामग्र्यावाप्य सम्भवात् यो विचारं न लभते ब्रह्मोपासीत सोनिशम्. So up to verse 53 there was a different topic topic of that Mahavakya alone has to generate this aparoksha jnanam. Nothing else will be useful. No extraordinary experience, no meditations, nothing, no samadhi. Aparoksha jnanam, which is moksha in fact, because you are already liberated. You should recognize I am liberated. That's it. So, that is that jnanam, should be generated by Mahavakya. That was a topic. And in that, you also showed that if that knowledge doesn't take place through this, then there are two types of candidates. Of course, in that he showed in verse 52 and 53 that there are two types of candidates who are exposed to Mahavakya. One understands Mahavakya, yet he doesn't claim. And the other one, he is exposed to Mahavakya, but he doesn't understand at all. This, both the kinds of, students are there. And then they will have to do this Nirguna Brahma Upasana. Basically, you superimpose, you have a knowledge. You have knowledge in terms of, because Upasana also involves a knowledge. At least what is Upasyam, what is to be meditated upon, you know. Even though here you know that Shastra says, it's like an information. It's an information that, Shastra says, I am Brahman. Like that. And that Brahman is Jagat Karanam, etc. That much, definitely. Otherwise, how will he superimpose Brahman upon himself? So, Shastra says Atma is Brahman. And that Brahman is Jagat Karanam, etc. All pervasive consciousness, which is, or we can say limitless existence, which is consciousness, which is the only being. In the creation, there's the only being is this. So Brahman is a conscious being, all pervading conscious being, not individual being. Anyway, so this knowledge is there. This much knowledge is required for meditation, and that is there. And so he continues. And so he does that, Nirguna Brahma Upasana. Now in that, in verse 52 it is said, Vedanta Vijnana Sunishchitarthaha iti Shastrataha. Brahmaloke tu kalpante brahmana saha muchyati. Vedanta Vijnana Sunishchitarthaha. So basically, this is the mantra in the Mundaka Upanishad. And it can be looked upon both the ways. It can be looked upon as for a Jivan Mukti also. One who has ascertained this knowledge. Artha means an object. So, Vedanta Vijnana Sunishitarthaha. this let me little talk about it. Bhashakara, that samasa, he explains that Vedanta Vijnana Sunishitartha is what? He says Vedanta Janita Vijnanam, Vedanta Vijnanam. Vedanta Janita Vijnanam. The knowledge the knowledge which takes place through the words of Vedanta, Mahavakya. That's called Vedanta Vijnanam. Then, Tasya Arthaha. What is the object for that knowledge? Object in terms of the subject matter. What is the object of this knowledge here? When we say Gata Jnanam, we say, well, its object is Gata. Same way, Vedanta Vijnanam, well, basically is the Vedanta Janita Vijnanam. And Tasya Arthaha. What is the object for this knowledge? Brahman, Paramatma. And Saha Arthaha Sunishitaha. Yesham. One who has very well ascertained through this knowledge that this Brahman is oneself. If you have ascertained very well, then definitely where is a question of doing a Nirguna Brahma Upasana. So you have understood, very well ascertained. Sunishitaha Arthaha. Yesham. For those who have ascertained that this knowledge, who has ascertained Brahman as oneself, through the words of the Shastra, through the Mahavakya, those people are Vedanta Vijnana Sunishitartha. This is one meaning. Or else they have ascertained that, well, Brahman alone is the subject matter from the Upanishad or Mahavakya. Brahman alone is the subject matter, which is equated. Of course, Mahavakya means Brahman is equated with the oneself, but he is not able to claim. They are able to ascertain that yes, Brahman is equated with the Atma. Very well ascertained, and that's that. But therefore, I am Brahman. No. So there are two types of people, and so it can be looked upon. If one has ascertained that, well, this Brahman is myself, therefore I am free, then there is no question of Krama Mukti and all that, and why Upasana Nirguna Brahma. Nothing is required. You have understood very well. So you have Aparoksha Jnanam. Then the same mantra is looked upon as a source of, he's talking about Jivan Mukti. But where is Jivan Mukti, Swamiji? You are saying Vedanta Vijnana Sunichat, but afterwards it is there. Vedanta Vijnana Sunishitartha Sannyasa Yogad Yatayah Shuddha Sattvaha. Sannyasa Yogad means Karma Yogat. So basically there, Karma Yoga, etc., well, there the sannyasa of Ragadvesha takes place. And therefore, sannyasa yoga yatayah. So those who become renunciates now, and shuddha sattvaha, those people whose minds are free from the hold of likes and dislikes, they ascertain this meaning, that Brahman is oneself, because of shuddha sattva. And then, well, so then paramrutaha, so te brahmalokeshu parantakale, paramrutaha parimuchanti sarve. Te brahmalokeshu parantakale. Antakala is for everyone. Everyone has antakala. Where subtle body survives is called antakala. Where subtle body also resolves at the time of death, that's called parantakala. That's it. Yeah. Parantakala is that. Where subtle body also doesn't remain. If subtle body remains, means causal also remain. Means sanchita remains. Then the next janma. So everyone's Santakala. But this is a Parantakala. So for these people, definitely. Videhi Mukti also. So then they will become free. Te Brahmalokeshu Parantakale Paramrutaha Parimuchanti Sarve. So well, it says Parimuchanti, becomes free from the sense of limitations. Paramrutaha means being, Paramrutaha means being, they understood that that Brahman is non-separate from the self, or self is non-separate from the Brahman. Well, they means all these people who have done this kind of a nishya, they sarve parimuchanti, they become free from the sense of limitation. And brahmalokeshu parantakale brahmalokeshu gataha. Now here brahmalokeshu gataha. So basically, Parantakale, at the time of death of the subtle body, they go to Brahmalokas. Here, of course, Brahman. I have told you Brahmaloka, Brahma iti loka. But the question is, Swamiji, if Brahmaloka is ascertained as a Brahman, then why Bahuvachanam? As though there are many Nirgunam Brahmans or what? No, because basically everyone has to recognize. Every wise person is Brahman. Because everyone has to recognize. That is the argument we do. Swamiji, if all the jivas are Brahman, then if one jiva is liberated, all will be liberated. Why others are not liberated? Well, so one jiva becomes free from the bondage, all will become free from the bondage, because ultimately all jivas are Brahman only. He gains the self-knowledge and becomes free. Then why one? Because ultimately there is only one Brahman. All jivas are non-separate from Brahman. If one jiva becomes free from the bondage, all jivas will become. Then why? So why all the other jivas are not, and one jiva alone becomes free? As though the other, well, definitely, when you say, when one jiva becomes free, all jivas become free, that means what? Means you take the bondage as real, right? If bondage is real, then in that case, one jiva becomes free from the bondage with the help of knowledge, all jivas become free. But bondage is not real, and you take it as a real due to avidya, then you have to recognize that you are already liberated. You don't have any bondage at all. You are not bound, and you will not be bound. So you have to recognize. Then recognition has to take place by every jiva. Recognition has to take place by every jiva. Therefore, that is how, because it's a Brahma. So you have to do that Brahma Nivrutti. And therefore, definitely, that is how one jiva knows. Other jiva doesn't know. They also have to recognize the same thing. They are also liberated only. He is also liberated, but he knows that I am liberated. I am actually, I was not having any bondage. I am not bound, I was not having any bondage. So that is why, if bondage is real, then definitely one becomes free, then all will become free. Because ultimately avidya is the cause. If one removes avidya and become free from the bondage, all also will become free. But if you are free and if you don't claim the freedom, well, that's an error that I am bound. Then you have to recognize. Everyone has to recognize, and therefore one who recognizes becomes free. Anyway, so every wise person is a Brahman, and therefore as many as wise people, as many are like Brahmaloka or Brahman. So that is in that sense. But Swamiji, Brahmalokeshu, then the wise people are many, where it is told. Vedanta Vijnana Sunishchitartha. It's a Bahuvachanam. And therefore Brahmalokeshu. Yeah. So I wanted to just clarify with you. Anyway, but this mantra it can be looked upon with the as a Jivan Mukti, revealing Jivan Mukti, or it can be looked upon as a Krama Mukti. Here we are, Vidyaranya quotes from the standpoint of Krama Mukti, because he is talking about Nirgun Brahma Upasana, which will remove the obstacle. Means definitely it is he has not gained knowledge, even though he ascertained this meaning that Brahman is equated with the self, or Brahma Jiva Brahma Ikyam is the subject matter of this Vedanta, and he came to know this much. He has this much knowledge that it talks about Ikyam. But he doesn't claim. Then there is obstacle. Then Nirguna Brahma Upasana is possible. Then he does Nirguna Brahma Upasana, and then definitely he gains mukti in the neck once the body falls and goes to Brahmaloka, and gain knowledge. Gain knowledge means that obstacle itself goes away. So I think even Brahmaji says, I am Atma Brahma, he need not have to elaborate it perhaps. And then he definitely knows that. Chapter 6, you remember that chapter 6. Also all this we talked about prodigies, etc. And so this kind of thing is possible. It manifests immediately. Like it manifested in the case of Vamadeva, even in the Garbha. Therefore it is possible. Even though nobody teaches you, but when the obstacle is gone, by even gaining a new janma, new prarabdha, well then the obstacle has gone, he gains the knowledge. So this is one. And then also, if you see in the text, they have quoted Brihadaranyaka Upanishad also, 6 to 15, right? 6 to 15 is quoted, and 6 to 15 basically we can take it as a Krama Mukti. It's a little doubtful thing, but I would like to just go through that mantra 6 to 15 in Brihadaranyaka Upanishad, 6th chapter, 2nd Brahmana, and 15th mantra. It says here, Teye evam etat viduhu yecha ami aranye shraddham satyam upasate te archihi abhisambhavanti archishaha ahaha annaha apuryamana paksham apuryamanat pakshad anveshama apuryamana pakshad yan shanmasan yad yad ahang adityah iti मासेभ्यः देवलोकम देवलोकात् आदित्यम आदित्यात् वैद्युतम वैद्युतात् पुरुषः मानसः एत्य ब्रह्मलोकान् गमयति तेषु ब्रह्मलोकेषु पराः परावतः वसन्ति तेषां न पुनरावृत्तिः. So he shows the whole marga, all stations which come in between. The last but one is a Vidyulloka. Same kind of discussion is there in Chandogya. I think I talked to you last time. In Chandogya 5th chapter also Panchagni Vidya Upasana. Here this is also Panchagni Vidya Upasana. Panchagni Vidya Upasana has been mentioned in Chandogya 5th chapter, in Brihadaranyaka 6th chapter. And here it says that all these various stations come, this Upasaka who has done Evam Ami Aranye Shraddham Satyam Upasate. The person, the Grihastha actually, because Panchagni Vidya. So one who knows Panchagni Vidya and does this with the help, with the Shraddha and everything, Aranye. So well, definitely, I feel it is becoming a Vanaprastha now. Well, he does this Upasana, and actually Vanaprastha is a predominantly Upasana Padana. Then he does a Upasana of a Hiranyagarbha, etc., Brahman, etc. And then definitely they go through this, and they go to Vidyulloka, and then from Brahmaloka, one particular type of person comes, who is a Manasa Purusha. Because Brahmaji creates from his own mind, right? Even Manasa Putra. So like that, Brahmaji has created one Manasa Purusha, who will come to Vidyulloka and takes this Upasaka, Nirguna Brahma Upasaka. It's very doubtful actually. It is Panchagni Vidya Upasana is a Saguna Brahma Upasana. But, and then, that's how that reference in here is little doubtful, honestly. Because Panchagni Vidya Upasana, where I told you, where Brahman is looked upon as a fivefold fire, where is Nirguna Brahma Upasana? It's all Saguna Brahma Upasana. But why it has been quoted, I just don't know. So perhaps that reference, I personally, if you are asking me, then that reference we should delete actually. But since it has been there, so I am just mentioning this. Anyway, we should know all this. So, and such as Saguna Brahma Upasana, well, he will go to Brahmaloka, care of chapter 8 of Bhagavad Gita. Anyway, so that Purusha, Manasa Purusha takes him from Vidyulloka to, he leads actually to Brahmaloka. Teshu Brahmalokeshu Paraha Paravatah Vasanti. Once he reaches to Brahmaloka, he lives there till the Brahmaloka comes to an end. Right? That's the gain knowledge. Tesham na punaravrittihi. They don't return. So Krama Mukti. So Saguna Brahma Upasaka also can, I have told you that, in fact, need not be Nirguna Brahma Upasaka only gain this knowledge. So now you may feel that it is all confusion. It's not confusion. Let me repeat once again before I proceed. That Saguna Brahma Upasaka also, well, as discussed in the chapter 8, can go to Brahmaloka. Throughout one life he does Upasana, and therefore the last thought also will be pertaining to his Vasana is only of Ishvara. And so because his mind is soaked in Ishvara, and therefore, well, that only appears, and then definitely goes to Brahmaloka, depending upon the person. He has done Upasana on Vishnu, the same Brahmaloka is Vaikuntha. Or she has done Upasana on Shiva, well, then the same Brahmaloka is Kailasa, etc. Anyway, but he goes. And then he gains knowledge and stays there and enjoys. And when Brahmaloka comes to an end, he will also get resolved into that, Videya Mukti, which we ultimately call Krama Mukti actually. So that is there. And Nirguna Brahma Upasaka also, well, he has been exposed to now. Now our case. In that there are two types of people. One who has ascertained the meaning. Yes, Mahavakya talks about Atma is Brahman, Atma, the self is Brahman, etc. But he is not able to claim it because of the Pratibandha. And he does this Upasana, Nirguna Brahma Upasana. Aham Brahmasmi, Aham Brahmasmi. And exactly like Nirguna Brahma Upasana, there is a Saguna Brahma Upasana also, in which there is a superimposition of the Ishta Devata upon yourself. Yeah. Saguna Brahma is superimposed upon yourself, which is called Ahangraha Upasana. That's called Ahangraha Upasana. Let us make it clear all these things. It's called Ahangraha Upasana, where you can worship, you can meditate on Narayana, well, on a certain symbol outside. Or you can worship, I think we should talk a little later, it is coming, but anyway, I feel that we should make it clear once for all. So you meditate upon Ishtadevata, or because on a statue or something, or on a certain symbol, Pratika or Pratima, some symbol is there. Like Omkara becomes a symbol for Saguna Brahma Upasana. Omkara becomes Omkara, Japa, etc. Well, with that you can do Saguna Brahma Upasana, where Akara, Ukara, Makara has been looked upon as Sattva Rajas Tamas. It can be looked upon as a Jagrat Sushupti. It can be looked upon the Sthula Prapancha, Sukshma Prapancha, Karana Prapancha. It can be looked upon as a Brahma, Vishnu and Shiva, creator, dissolver and sustainer. All this Saguna Brahma Upasana. Anyway, so, well, and then knowledge through this Omkara also is there, which is Amatra, etc., between two Omkaras, which is Amatra, where all these gunas are not there, where nothing is there, everything is resolved. From there only everything comes, and that is Brahman, etc., Nirguna Brahma, etc. So, that is, Omkara becomes a symbol for gaining knowledge of Nirguna Brahma, or you can do Upasana as a Saguna Brahma. That's a symbol. Or now Saguna Brahma you can look upon, you can visualize, well, in a stone, or in a photo, or in a certain pratima, right, idol or something. So this all these are Saguna Brahma Upasana. Anyway, so as you look upon something as a symbol for Saguna Brahma, you yourself can become a symbol and superimpose Saguna Brahma upon yourself. You can worship Vishnu outside in the Murti, Shaligrama, etc. Or you can look upon yourself as a Vishnu. So that is possible. That's how Virat Upasanas have been talked about in the Shastra, which is Ahangraha. So this head is a head of the cosmic person. And like that, the hair, etc. is all, this plants and all vegetable kingdom and all like that, plant kingdom, etc. And like that. And the ocean, etc. is like a bladder, and all these things are there. And these legs are like my legs are the legs of a cosmic person, and that is Prithvi, etc. Like that, there is so the Virat Upasana you can do with the help of a symbol outside, or a Murti, etc. Or the same Virata you superimpose upon yourself, you become a symbol and can do Upasana. That is a Saguna Brahma Upasana, Ahangraha Upasana. Other is a Samprati Upasana, etc. Anyway, and same way Nirguna Brahma Upasana also, where you, the Nirguna Brahman is superimposed upon yourself. We should not say here Ahangraha Upasana. We should not say. In a Saguna Brahma Upasana, we should call it as a Ahangraha Upasana. Aham Rupena Grinnati. Virat Purushaha Aham Rupena Grinnati. You take it as a Aham. You take it as an individual body, etc. So this is how, but you don't hear say that, well, Nirguna Brahma is superimposed upon myself, Aham Brahmasmi, therefore this is Ahangraha Upasana. No, please don't say that. Only it is Ahangraha Upasana with respect to Saguna Brahma only. Anyway, so this is the one type of a person who has been exposed to the teaching, he ascertained the meaning, very well this is Brahman is equated with this and this Mahavakya reveals it very clearly and all that, but he is not able to claim. And so such person has to do Nirguna Brahma Upasana, because that's a topic which will be starting from 54. And first thing will be established from 54 to 73 or something, where it has been established that Nirguna Brahman Upasana is possible. This is a very big debate actually, very big debate. And in fact our family, all this, we also generally don't encourage this Nirguna Brahma Upasana. I have never heard Pujya Swamiji talking about Nirguna Brahma Upasana. Because Pashakara's one statement from Kathopanishad is very famous. And that is that Sagunam Chet Dhyatavyam Nirgunam Chet Gnatavyam. So that is how it's a very known. And so we all the time, whole family, all the dadas and all, we used to quote this. Sagunam Chet Dhyatavyam Nirgunam Chet Gnatavyam. So that is Bhashakara said that in Kathopanishad in particular mantra, I don't remember right now. And therefore Nirguna Brahma Upasana is not possible. That's a one between Advaitins. One group says Nirguna Brahma Upasana is not possible. Other group says Nirguna Brahma Upasana is possible. In that there will not be any Vishishtadvaitin or Dvaitin. Why? Because they don't accept Nirguna Brahma. Very first thing. They don't accept Nirguna Brahma. They accept Brahman or Narayana with attributes. The whole world is its body. World has thousands and billions of attributes. There Brahman, this Narayana, which is Brahman, has his body. Means he is having so many attributes. Therefore, they accept only Saguna Brahma. They never accept Nirguna Brahma. And Dvaitins will never accept. Dvaitins will never accept because they look upon Ishvara, which is different from you, have a certain form and these and that and etc. All the attributes that will be there naturally. And then only you can have a devotion towards that and everything. So that's how Vishishtadvaitin, Dvaitins are not Purupakshi now here. Between two groups of Advaitin there is going to be a debate. So Vidyaranya first, his aim from verse 54 is to establish that Nirguna Brahma Upasana is possible. And for that he takes up a particular position which we'll see. And anyway, so this is one type of a person who has ascertained the meaning and yet not able to claim that I am free, while they do this upasana, and perhaps pratibandha is such that they cannot get rid of that pratibandha in this life. Well, then definitely, since they have done this upasana, they generate adrishta also. It generates adrishta, and they will go to Brahmaloka and gain knowledge and become free. And so that's how it says, Brahmaloke saha kalpante brahmana saha muchyate. That has been said. That's a one type of student. And second one has been mentioned in verse 53. Keshanchit vicharopi karmana pratipadyate. Keshanchit saha vicharopi karmana pratipadyate. Shravanaya api bahubihi yona labhyaha iti shrutehe. And that these are another type of student. Well, the candidate of a Nirguna Brahma Upasaka is who basically is sa vicharopi karmana pratipadyate. Vichara, that analysis of the Mahavakya itself is pratipadyate. Karmana, karma phala, some prarabdha, obstacle. Pratipadyate. Well, that he is not able to do. Vichara itself. The first one, verse 52, talks about the person who has sunishita arthaha. They have ascertained, but they are not able to claim. The second type of person is, he is not able to appreciate this Mahavakya at all. He says, I am not able to understand what is this, what is going on. Therefore, Shravanaya pi bahubihi yana labhyaha. This is the majority actually. Bahubihi Shravanaya. Shravanaya means for this vichara. Mahavakya vichara is called Shravanam. Shravanam is not listening. Shravanam is basically ascertaining the Jiva Brahma Aikyam through Mahavakya analysis. And so that is Shravanam. So yaha bahubihi na labhyaha. basically this is not available for many people, and so there is a pratibandha. This is a Kathopanishad Shruti, So these two people are these two types of candidates are there, for whom this Nirguna Brahma Upasana it's required for them to do. Anyway, and so here now in verse 54 is he begins this, that Nirguna Brahma Upasana is possible, and these two type of people should do, which has been talked in verse 52 and 53. So he says, Atyanta buddhi mandyadva samagriya vapya sambhavat. Atyanta buddhi mandyat. Basically, he's not able to, withstand Mahavakya Vichara at all, because of the dullness of the intellect, which has been said in the verse 53. And we have seen also what is to be done for that. Anyway, or there is another case, samagriya va api asambhavat. Samagriyaha asambhavat va. Or va means or athava, or samagri here means all other qualification, including your health, or maybe some favorable prarabdha is not there. Yeah, that's how there are people, there are people who want to listen, who want exposure to teaching, but a surrounding is such, they are placed in such a situation, they cannot do. Just cannot do. So much craving they have, but we always tell them, please wait, Ishvara will do the arrangement. Really. Yeah, Ishvara will do the arrangement where all these so-called obstacles around will go away. Yeah, we have to wait. And so anyway, either way, Atyanta buddhimandyatva or samagriyaha asambhavatva. Samagri here means resources, qualification, you can include that also. And so basically, dullness, etc., well, it's a drashta pratibandha. And because of circumstances, this circumstances, favorable prarabdha is not there, you are placed in such a situation where you don't have a freedom to get exposed to this teaching. You know that this is very important, I have to do that, I like it, you are not able to do. That's a drashta pratibandha. That's how we have to divide. So, atyanta buddhi mandyat, definitely it's a drashta pratibandha. And samagri asambhavat, we have to take it like this. Some obstacle which I don't know the cause of that. Well, that is adrishta. Either way, iha vicharam na labhate. Well, suppose a person does not get an opportunity for Mahavakya Vichara, then what should you do? Do Nirguna Brahma Upasana. Well, continue that. Means aham brahmasmi, aham brahmasmi, aham brahmasmi. Teacher doesn't come to you and you are not able to go for some reason. Well, don't worry. Do this Nirguna Brahma Upasana. Well, this is how it has to be understood. But Nirguna Brahma Upasana means he should have a knowledge. Without knowledge, he has a knowledge. What knowledge? Paroksha Jnana. Atma is Brahman. You don't say I am Brahman. Atma is Brahman, which is cause of the world. This much you know. Otherwise, how will you know aham brahmasmi? What is that Brahman? If you have to ask that, then there is a question of upasana. I am Brahman. But what is that Brahman? I don't know that. So he has been exposed, but he doesn't know. He is not able to claim because of some reason. He is not able to claim. Because of prajnamandyam or because of prarabdha, whatever. So, saha brahma upasita. Brahma could be sagunam brahma, but here the context is nirguna. Saha brahma upasita. That person should do nirguna brahma upasana. How long? Anisham. Constantly. Constantly. Known and unknown. All. Drishta, drishta, pratibandha, all go away. What is a drishta pratibandha? What saguna brahma upasana do? It removes the drishta pratibandha. What drishta pratibandha I have told you last time. I am going to ask as a homework after the class is over. Okay? And therefore, well, so here drishta pratibandha, adrishta pratibandha of one kind. There drishta pratibandha is of a different kind, which is very common, which is rampant actually. Chanchalam hi manah krishna pramati balavad drudam. Right? So therefore, mind keeps wandering. Even though you have a hold over your, Ragadveshas do not have a hold over you, still mind keeps wandering. It doesn't have an abiding capacity. One which has an abiding capacity, well, will be able to absorb, will be able to retain, will be able to assimilate. And therefore, that is a Drashtapatibandha. You know that mind is wandering. So there Saguna Brahma Upasana will be very helpful to make your mind abiding. That's a different thing. Here, Prajna Mandhyam, etc. So, well, in that case, Saguna Brahma Upasana, not much. You are already exposed. How will you know, Swamiji, I have Prajna Mandhyam? You get exposed to Mahavakya and you say, well, I don't know, what is this Brahman, Atma, Ikyam? I am not able to appreciate it. That's a Prajna Mandhyam. Or could be Samagriya Sambhava. Because of your prarabdha, you may not have a enough facility to expose to the teaching which you want. You have a certain samskaras of this, and you have heard also, and you know it's a moksha sadhanam, everything, but you are not able to devote the time because of the circumstances around. That's called samagri. External circumstances. Your own health also sometimes may not permit all this. So in these cases, we have to do Nirguna Brahma Upasana. I think with Upasana we have discussed so much now. So anyway, known and unknown obstacles will go away. Prajna Mandhyam, definitely I feel for Prajna Mandhyam, Nirguna Brahma Upasana, etc. Rather, as I told you, learning some discipline, especially grammar, will be more helpful. Just Aham Brahmasmi. Rather than that, here he says, but we know for sure what is to be done, at least to get rid of this Prajna Mandhyam, dullness of the intellect. Anyway, and because Nirguna Brahma Upasana generates a punyam, spiritual punyam, etc., which will help you in getting rid of obstacles. Verse 55. Nirguna Brahma Tattvasya Nahyupaste Rasambhavah Saguna Brahmani Vatra Pratyaya Vritti Sambhava. As I told you now, so here now there will be two parties now, right? So one group and second group, both are Advaitin only. One will say Nirguna Brahma Upasana does not exist. And well, Vidyaranya is going to say Nirguna Brahma Upasana exists. And there will be a dialogue. There will be some counter arguments, etc. And well, so if you say, well, is Nirguna Brahma Upasana possible as a Purupakshi? If you say like that, see, both except Jnanam is possible. Nirguna Brahma Jnanam is possible, that is for both, naturally. Both are Advaitin. So that is there. But in that, for Nirguna Brahma Upasana, there are two Pakshas now. And that is, one says it is possible, other say, Vidyaranya says it is possible, other group says no, it is not possible. So Nirguna Brahma Tattvasya, here Vidyaranya first says, Nirguna Brahma Tattvasya upastehe na asambhavaha. Upastehe asambhavaha. Asambhavaha, impossibility. Upastehe, it's a sixth case. By the way, upasti word is there. Upasanam is equal to upasti is equal to meditation. So we know the word upasanam, but there is another word upasti. So upastehe, sixth case. Asambhavaha, upastehe asambhavaha, impossibility of meditation, upasana, which Nirguna Brahma Tattvasya. So Nirguna Brahma Upasana, impossibility of the Nirguna Brahma Upasana, na, means it's not impossible. Could you follow? So Nirguna Brahma Upasana, na sambhavaha nahi, na asambhavaha. Nirguna Brahma Upasana is not impossible, means it is possible. How is it possible? He says here, so Nirguna Brahma Tattvasya na hi upastehe asambhava. He means because how do you say that it is possible or it is not impossible? Saguna Brahmani iva. Saguna Brahmani iva pratyaya vritti sambhavat. Like in the case of a Saguna Brahma, well, you have a pratyaya avritti, repetition. Pratyaya, a thought or vritti. Like in case of a Saguna Brahma Jnanam you have gained, like what is Vishnu, etc. You have gained jnanam, and then now you, with the help of that knowledge, which is in the form of a thought, you have that jnanam is there, jnana vritti you have. So well, you can repeat that now, vritti avritti you can do. Constantly meditate on the glories of Lord Vishnu, which you have gained as a knowledge. Therefore, vritti is also there. Knowledge has taken place. What are the glories of Vishnu? And therefore, well, you can do upasana, avritti, repetition you can do. So, saguna brahmani pratyavritti sambhavat. Like in the case of a saguna brahma, etc., well, repetition of thought, etc., is possible. Like Padmanabham, Suresham, Surana, Shantakaram, etc., etc., Bhujagashainam. So all vrittis, well, all the glories, you can definitely meditate upon, right? So Saguna Brahmani, the Pratyavritti is possible. Atra means in our case also. In our case means in Nirguna Brahma, with respect to Nirguna Brahma also, means Atra is equal to Nirguna Brahma Vishaye. In our with respect to Nirguna Brahma also, well, Pratyavritti Sambhava. Well, in this case also, pratyavritti is possible. So definitely you know now that Atma is equated with this Brahman, etc. in Mahavakya, and therefore you can definitely superimpose that Brahman, Nirguna Brahma, upon yourself and do this Samadhi Brahma or this Nirguna Brahma Upasana. You can do it. You can invoke on yourself that I am Nirguna Brahma, I am Nirguna Brahma, etc., etc. I am Brahman, etc. Aham Brahmasmi. You can definitely invoke upon. So Sambhavat. Sambhavat means fifth case, and it is in terms of a hetu. When hetu is there, sadhyam will be there, because we prove something with the help of hetu. So what is sadhyam? Upastehe, Nirguna Brahma Tattvasya upastehe, na asambhava. There is no impossibility of Nirguna Brahma Upasana. If you can do Upasana of a Saguna Brahma, superimposing upon yourself, Ahangra Upasana, then why not Nirguna Brahma Upasana you can do? Saguna Brahma Jnanam you have gained, because and that, well, those qualities, virtues, glories, you superimpose upon yourself. Well, here also you have gained knowledge. Well, Avantar Vakya Shravanam is done, Mahavakya Shravanam is done, but even though you are not able to appreciate totally, but you know. Therefore, vritti avritti you can do as you do in the case of Saguna Brahma, you can do here also. And therefore, Nirguna Brahma Upasana is possible. This is how he says. And then now Purvapakshi will raise a question. No, it is not possible. Jnanam is possible. And here, actually, he doesn't, Vidyaranya does not give any argument for in favor of Nirguna Brahma Upasana. Whatever Purvapakshi says that Nirguna Brahma Upasana is not possible because of this reasons. Well, he will say, Vidyaranya will say, then well, with the same reasons, Nirguna Brahma Jnanam also is not possible. Time being, he is asserting that Nirguna Brahma Jnanam also is not possible. For time being, just for the sake of argument and to prove that Nirguna Brahma Upasana is possible. So, now Purvapakshi will say, these are the reasons, because of that Nirguna Brahma Upasana is not possible. Then Vidyaranya will say, with the same reason, Nirguna Brahma Jnanam also will not be possible. No, Nirguna Brahma Jnanam is possible because of this. Well, then Nirguna Brahma Upasana also is possible. So this is how he is going to do. Puja Swamiji is to tell, even this Acharya also has quoted, that sometimes you go for a fight with other person, but that person is very strong. Then you don't carry stick, because he will take your stick and beat you. And therefore, don't go with the stick. Go just bare hand. At the most, he will give you certain kicks, etc. But you will be saved still. So what Vidyaranya does is say, taking the stick from the Purvapaksha arguments, and with the stick with which he wants to beat Vidyaranya, well, Vidyaranya takes at that same stick and beats him, etc. It's amazing. Even though he is a proponent of a Nirguna Brahma Upasana, he doesn't argue at all. He doesn't argue. Here also you see, if Saguna Brahma Upasana is possible, Nirguna Brahma Upasana is possible. Now argument is, well, The Nirguna Brahma Upasana is not possible. Nirguna Brahma Jnanam is possible. Well, why? These reasons. With the same reason, Nirguna Brahma Upasana is possible, Vidyaranya will say. So this is how it is going to. It's a funny thing, really. So, now this dialogue continues further in verse 56. Avang manasagamyam tat nopasyamiti chet tada avang manasagamyasya vedanam nacha sambhave. Simple, there is, you can understand also very well. Avang manasagamyam tat naupasyam. Well, because it is not possible to do upasana, because basically Nirguna Brahma Upasana is not possible because Nirguna Brahma is not an object. How will you meditate? If object of meditation itself is not there, then how will you meditate? So, you are not able to think anything which is not an object. Mind always objectifies, right? Mind thinks means what? Mind objectifies various things in form of a thought. There will be objects of thought. That's how thinking takes place. Now you say, Avang Manas, Nirguna Brahma is Avang Manasa Gamya. Therefore, Nirguna Brahma is not basically become an object of any word or a mind. Yeah, we should know that. Yad vacha anabhyuditam yena vagabhyudate tadeva brahmatvam vidhi nedam yadidam upasate. Yeah, yad vacha anabhyuditam yena vagabhyudate. So the very origination of word is possible because of Brahman. The very sound of word is Brahman. The very meaning of word is Brahman. But Brahman is, well, not any of that. Brahman is a word of a word. Brahman is a word of a word. So, yad vacha anabhyuditam. Anabhyuditam, revealed, which cannot be revealed, vacha, which cannot be revealed by the speech. Vacha is the third case of a vak. Vacha, vagbhyam, vagbhihi, etc. Yena vagabhyudate, because of which, well, word is revealed. And so word, the origination of the word, the meaning of the word, the sound of the word, all possible because of Brahman. But Brahman cannot be revealed by the word, right? Therefore, Brahman is a word of the word. Vachoha vacham. In the Shrotrasya Shrotram Manaso Manoyat Vachoha vacham. In Kenopanishad. So, word of a word. And therefore, well, definitely, avang manasagam. And yan manasana manute, yena ahur manomatam, tadeva brahmatvam vidhi, nedam yadidam upasate. Brahman cannot be upasyam. Because yan manasana manute, you cannot objectify them with your mind. Yena ahuhu manomatam, because of which mind is able to think, mind is able to emote, mind is able to desire, mind is able to speculate, mind is able to do anything. Because of which, that is Brahman. Manaso manaha. It's a mind of the mind. Because of the very presence of the consciousness, well, mind automatically becomes conscious and does its function. So, that is how, very beautifully it's said here, what is that factor? Keneshitam preshitam manaha. Because of what? That mind lends upon varieties of the objects. Mind lends upon varieties of the objects because of on its own, or there is some propelling factor, etc. Desired by whom, the mind as though impelled lends upon varieties of the objects. Well, that's due to consciousness. The very presence of the consciousness, mind being non-separate, does its function. All the activities of the mind take place due to Brahman. Therefore, yad vacha manasa agamyam or avang manasa gamyam, which can gnayam. Gamyam means gnayam. Well, Brahman is not an object of words or a mind, etc. And therefore, then definitely there cannot be, you cannot meditate, because meditation means it's there must be an object. Well, so it's not an object of meditation. Who says? Purupakshi. Avang manasa gamyam tat. So, avang manasa gamyam is a visheshana for that tat. Tat means that Brahman. And avang manasa gamyam becomes a hetu garbha visheshana. Hetu garbha visheshana means there is this is a visheshana which has a hetu, the very cause. in that Visheshana. But cause means Hetu. Hetu means you want to prove something, Swamiji. Yeah. What? Naupasyam. That becomes Sadhyam. So the Visheshana is such which itself reveals the reason for why the Brahman is not available for meditation. Avang manasa gamyam. Could you follow what I am saying? Hetu Garbha Visheshana. Garbha means in its own, that Visheshana, in whose stomach the Hetu is lying already. So Avang manasa gamyam. Iti chet, if you say so, if Vidyaranya says, if Purvapakshi, if you say that Brahman is Nirgun Brahma, therefore it is not an object of a thought, an object of the words, etc. Well, yeah, then definitely Avang Manasa Gamyasya Vedanam na cha sambhavet. Then definitely, how will you know? If it is not an object of a words, object of a mind, how will you know? I will know through the words, but it is not an object of words. Oh, I will know through my mind, but it is not an object of your mind. So if you say Nirguna Brahma Upasana cannot be done because it is not an object of mind and words, etc., well, then you cannot know also. Could you follow? So this is how, whatever the argument he gives for for impossibility of a Nirguna Brahma Upasana, same argument he takes and asserts that Nirguna Brahma Jnanam also is not possible, like that. He does that. Abba. So this is how it is. Iti chet, Purvapakshi argue like that. Vedanam na sambhavet. Purvapakshi is very much disturbed now because Vidyaranya does not give any argument. He simply takes the argument of him only and with his stick he beats him. So his blood pressure is rising now very much. Now he says something else, Purvapakshi. Verse 57. Vagadya gocharakaram ityevam yadi vetyasau vagadya gocharakaram ityupasitano kutaha. So, Nirguna Brahma Jnanam, for that there is no much, a contention. So, now what he does is, Purvapakshi wants to establish, because now the situation has come, because Vidyaranya says, well, then if you say that Nirguna Brahma Upasana is not possible, then definitely Nirguna Brahma Jnanam is not possible. So, what Purvapakshi does is, he dropped this to prove Nirguna Brahma Upasana's impossibility. He now has to establish Nirguna Brahma Jnanam is possible, because now that is the thing he is going to do. He wants to say, even though Nirguna Brahma is not an object of knowledge, but yet Jnanam is possible. That's what he has to establish. So he says, Veti, he knows. So how? Knows means he knows Brahman. How? There must be knowledge. But so you know the Brahman as very subject. How will you know? How will you know? That is what Pratibodha Viditam Matam. Huh? Consciousness is very invariably present in all the cognitions. No cognition is possible without consciousness. So cognition vary, like pot cognition and pen cognition. Pot knowledge and pen knowledge. The difference between two knowledge is what? On account of what? The difference between pen knowledge and pot knowledge is on account of what? On account of the object of the knowledge. Pen and pot. So but basically the knowledge, pot knowledge and pen knowledge, we say these two are different pieces of knowledge. Yeah. But in that the difference is in the object of knowledge, not in the knowledge. Pot knowledge is pot consciousness. Pen knowledge is pen consciousness. That consciousness is invariably there. Consciousness does not go away. So as the thought of pen goes away, still consciousness is there. And now the pen thought arises, still consciousness is there to illumine the pen and becomes a pot knowledge, pot cognition, a pen cognition. So therefore, consciousness is invariably present in the mind all the time. Pratibodha viditam matam bodham prati yad viditam. Every bodha well, reveals something which is invariably present, which never comes. The pot goes away, pot thought goes away, pan thought goes away. One thought arises, subsides. Other thought arises, subsides. In the very consciousness which is there present in the mind. And therefore, so to know that Brahman in form of the to know the Brahman is possible only in this way. There is no other way Brahma Jnanam takes place. There is no other way you can know Brahman. Brahma Jnanam just takes place like this. The very consciousness which is present, which is invariable in every cognition. Now you claim that consciousness which is invariably present in everything, in which all this, from this consciousness everything arises and everything subsides. While that ultimately, that consciousness which is ever present, ever existent, is basic, and there is no difference in the consciousness present in the pot cognition and the consciousness present in the pan cognition. Consciousness is one and the same. There is no other way one can know Brahman. That is how it has been said. Pratibodha viditam matam, etc. Amrutatvam hi vindate, atmana vindate viryam, vidyaya vindate amrutam. So this is how one knows that ever existent consciousness, invariable consciousness, changeless consciousness, a changeless consciousness, even very thought of the time, emerge from that and resolves. So consciousness which is timeless, knowing that consciousness is a self, is the immortality. Amrutatvam hi vindate, vidyaya vindate amrutam. So this is how one should know that consciousness is yourself. So far as minds are there and thoughts are there, where there will be I thought, the knower thought, and then there will be idam vritti also, pot thought, etc. All this arise and go. In deep sleep state, all aham vritti also subsides. All the thought subsides. But the consciousness which illumines all the types of thought, even the very knower, the ego, the hankara, or the idam vritti, all this ultimately, which is invariable, which is changeless, which is ever present, which is free from any kind of modifications, which is free from any form. Yeah, pot, etc. The thought, pot thought has a particular form. Pan thought has a particular form. The consciousness which illumines it, enlivens it, and lends existence to it, is free from everything. That's amazing. And this is how Brahma Jnana. Well, Acharya said very beautifully in Kenopanishad, this is the only way you can know Brahman. There is no other way. There is no other way. Opening the eyes and looking around the things, you will not know you are Brahman. This present, the consciousness present in the mind, claim that consciousness is yourself. That's it. Anyway, so Vagadi Agocharam Brahma means Brahman has to be known as a subject, not as an object, definitely. It's not an object of knowledge, but yet Jnanam is possible as the very subject. Vagadi Agocharam Brahma, Brahman which is not an object of an instrument, etc. But it is the very subject, one knows it. Brahma Jnanam is possible. So Vagadi Agocharam iti akarena, it says here. Akarena means in that form. So asau veti, which is not an object of a vak and manas, etc., which is the very consciousness which lends existence and enlivens everything. While that consciousness is myself, one should know. Yadi, Vidyaranya says, if that is possible, if Brahman is to be known like this, Vagadi Agocharam iti akarena, you can know this as not an object of vak and words and etc., but as the very subject, then do upasana also as a subject. Why not? Tarhi Vagadi Gochara iti upasita. Kutah no? Kutah no means why not? Why not upasana is possible? Well, you just superimpose. That Brahman, which is Jagat Karanam, which is free from all attributes, is myself. That Brahman is myself. That attributeless Brahman is myself. That attributeless Brahman is myself. If you can know as a subject, why can't you superimpose upon yourself? What's your issue? Kutah no? Why not? Why not? It is possible. So he says Nirguna Brahma Jnanam is possible to know as a subject, etc. Then he says, well, you superimpose That same Nirguna Brahma upon yourself, subject. Well, and do upasana, meditate. Why not? In fact, that is easy. That's easy. Very easy. You have not to think anything. Yeah, how that Brahman is myself. That's a Mahavakya analysis that is not taking place. No, nothing to worry. Nothing to worry. Just do. Aham Brahmasmi. You have not to say in English, huh, by the way. Somebody, should I say instead of Aham Brahmasmi in English? Never. It will not work. I am telling you. Let me be very clear about this. Aham Brahmasmi is a Veda. Your translation is not a Veda. Please understand. Translation is not Veda. The word, the Vedic words which are Apaurushaya carry that potency. That's how many people tell me Gayatri mantra, Swamiji, I find it is difficult to pronounce. You give me translation. I will repeat the translation all the time. That will not work. Om Namah Shivaya will work. Salutations to Lord Shiva. Salutations to Lord Shiva. Salutations to Lord Shiva. Salutations to Lord Shiva. Never works. Never works. What words are there, what forms are there given by the Shastra, stick to that. That's it. And therefore you will better learn mantra and do. This is a simple mantra, very small, short. Aham Brahmasmi, Aham Brahmasmi, Aham Brahmasmi. Not Aham Brahmasmi. That will be dangerous. Aham Brahmasmi, Aham Brahma. In order to remove Brahma, we are doing this, and therefore Aham Brahmasmi it is there. That Hakara should come. Brahmasmi should be there, not Brahmasmi. Anyway, this is enough. We'll discuss 58 onwards afterwards. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.